Hello, my friends. How are you all doing today? As you can see, we are finally back out in the woods for another day of adventure. Today we are at the reservoir. I've been to this place several times, and there's a really cool old cellar foundation here. And then a wall where I think there was a barn next to it. So what we're going to do is just set up a day camp over here and just relax. I've got some food. And I want to talk to you guys about camping with tents. Freestanding tents and trekking pole tents. Because I've been doing a lot of research on the two. And I just want to share some of my thoughts about it and why one might be better than the other for different situations. But look at this beautiful place. Wow. The leaves are starting to come through for spring into summer. We are in the middle of May now. And it is about, I don't know, about 60 degrees today. At least that's what it's supposed to be. So, yeah, just wanted to get out here for a little bit and catch up with you folks. And share some thoughts as I always do. So, let's keep on walking and get to that spot. So we did have some rain yesterday. So as you can see, there's a nice puddle of water here. We're just going to walk around the edge. Cool reflections. The birds are out chirping today. Beautiful. So this path here will turn and goes all the way back to where the utility lines are, and then this path going forward basically dead ends, but this path was part of a pathway that would continue further going around the edge of this reservoir where there were some homes, but then they filled in the land with the water. So anyways, we need to sneak into here, and the bugs are coming out today, so I do need my bug spray. Let's see if we can sneak in here and I can show you. This old foundation. Oh, briars, prickly things. All right, let's see how this is looking, folks. Oh yeah, look at this. Like I said, I've been here several times in the past, and look at this. Pretty cool. So on the other side there is where the chimney stack was, and then right over here is a dividing wall. So I believe this was broken into two sections. Let's see if we can cut through all this. I can give you a closer look on the other side. Oh yeah, here we go. Check that out. So there's that rock wall, basically the foundation for the chimney stack right there. Set of stairs that goes down, but definitely muddy in there, very soft. So I'm not going to dive into that today, but you can see how it looks. This was a very big foundation. I want to say at least 20 feet long and maybe 15 feet wide, something like that, maybe. But yeah, there's that dividing wall right there. And we're going to go back on the other side there where the water is. So let's cut back through all this pines. And then I'll show you that foundation as well for the barn. I wonder if it's flooded in there. Let's find out. So like I said, we're just going to go down this trail here. And at the very end is a spot where we can relax and catch a view of the water. Oh yeah, it is flooded in there. But check this out, folks. So look at this. Like I said, I believe this was the barn because you can see this solid wall here. But yeah, it is totally flooded in there. Pretty cool. All right. Let's go back down this way. Get you some of the views of the water. See how high the water is up to the land. During the summertime when the water levels are low, you can walk right on the shoreline. It's way up too high today, but you still get these amazing views. Wow. Whew. Gorgeous, folks. Wow. Let's see if I can zoom in so you can see the tops of the trees. Hopefully it comes out for you, folks. The colors are just amazing for the greens. These bright yellowish greens and the dark greens. Water is so calm today. So beautiful. All right, so we're gonna try to set ourselves up something over here. Looks like some people have been out here and they had a little bit of a fire here. This was the area that I was gonna set up my thing, which I still can do. Maybe like right over here between these two trees. And yeah, nothing crazy, nothing fancy, just my sleeping pad and my other pad here. But let me take off the pack and get all that set up and bring you guys back in just a moment. Yeah. You know, folks, it's as I've always said, this is what it's all about. Taking in some vitamin N, which is vitamin nature. It's always good for the body, soul, and spirit. And today we're out at this beautiful spot. As you can see, the sun is shining. A little bit of a breeze here and there. It's supposed to hit around 60-ish degrees today, which is fantastic. And of course, those views behind you. That's the reason why I wanted to come to this spot, because I just want to be able to relax and enjoy those beautiful views with you. Now, beyond this side of the reservoir, that is going in towards the Freetown State Forest, the southern portion of it. Part of it is bioreserve land, but basically it goes in that direction. So yeah, just another portion of land that I've explored many times. I've brought you along, and if there's somewhere I haven't gone, you know I'll be showing you that too. But of course, we have to have our bubbly, because why not? All right, folks, so I'm going to get myself set up with my cook system here, heat up some food, and like I said, I want to talk to you about trekking pole tents and freestanding tents, kind of the difference between the two, maybe why you choose one over the other, and which one I am considering purchasing for a tent. So let's get this going here, have something to eat, and then we'll have a nice little talk. Mm. All right, folks, that was a super delicious meal. Good to the last bite. But now let's get into the topic here that I want to talk about with tents. Now, I've been doing a lot of research, checking out different tents that are out there, freestanding and trekking pole tents. And I'll share with you what I'm leaning towards in just a moment. Now, some things to consider are the price and the weight, the size, and what your purpose is for the tent. So let's just get down to the nitty gritty. How much is the tent going to cost? Well, as you know, if you go on Amazon, there's a large number of tents out there, from your basic tent to your very fancy tent, brand names, anywhere from $25, $30 up to $1,000 in price. So depending on what you want to use it for, how you're going to use it, and where you're going to use it, depends on how much you might want to spend. There are a lot of great tents out there within the $100 to $200 price range, and I think that is a sweet spot for most people. It's not going to break the bank. It's not overly expensive, but I think that price range gives you plenty of options to choose from. Now, freestanding tents are great because they come with everything you need. You have the poles, the rainfly, the tent itself, the stakes, and in most cases, it's relatively easy to put together. Whereas a trekking pole tent, you do have to supply your own poles, and that is with the trekking poles. Now, one thing I've noticed by watching a lot of the other videos out there on the tents that other people use, there's this one common denominator, and I'm sure you've probably noticed too, and it's something very simple, and it might seem really not that important, but everyone who uses a tent, whether it's freestanding with the poles or a trekking pole tent, at some point in time, you're going to be staking it to the ground. The trekking pole tents stake to the ground immediately, and you lift it up, and the support is with the trekking pole. Your freestanding tent, you can probably put it together without staking it down first, and then when the weather changes, stake it down. But a lot of times when I watch these other channels, these people going on these adventures, what do I see them doing? They're staking out the four corners of their freestanding tent when they find the place where they're going to place it, and then they stick the poles in there and raise it up, clip it on in place. That's what they do. So I think it's sort of like bypassing the middleman. If you have the option between having the middleman, which is having to have the poles and having to stick it down later on, or just do it from the very beginning, why not? Now, the only advantage with the freestanding tent would be is on a surface that's not ideal, you can work with it a little bit easier to pitch that tent because the poles themselves create that shape. Whereas with the trekking pole, you have to play around a little bit, get the right height for that tent to be pitched correctly. So that might be something you might want to consider if you're going to purchase a tent as well. For myself, because I already have trekking poles and I have the other poles, I'm leaning towards the trekking pole tent. And here's one of the reasons why. I've seen them weight-wise anywhere from 2 to 4 pounds, around 3 pounds mid-weight, which is not bad when you consider the fact that it comes with the tent, the rainfly, the stakes. But I have my own stakes and I have my own poles. So for me, that 3 pounds is almost a sweet spot for a tent. And it will pack nicely inside of my pack. And that's something else to consider, is some of these tents are very big when they're packed. They can be anywhere from 17 to 22 inches in size for length, and then 6 to 7 inches in width. So you need a big backpack in order to carry it inside, or you have to have the straps on the pack itself to have it on the outside. That's another thing to consider. Now, if you're someone who goes to a campground or places like that, and you have your vehicle nearby, a lot of the stuff that you're going to be using for camping will be right there, and the tent is just a place to sleep in, then you might want to opt for a more, heavier tent, if you will, one that's more substantial for your needs. But that's something for you to consider. So yeah, I'm leaning towards the trekking pole tents, and I've been looking at the different ones from UFL Gear and the Lanshan tents, the 2-person one, and there's different varieties out there ranging in price between like $130 to $200. And like I said, I think that's a sweet spot. So with that being said, hopefully soon I will be ordering one of those tents, and I can show you guys how the setup works. And again, using the gear that I already have. I have this sleeping pad, I've got the foam, and I just want to get out there and have that experience with a tent like that. And as I mentioned, I do plan on doing an overnight adventure soon, but I just want to get all the gear that I need in order to have a more comfortable night, at least to feel comfortable and feel safe, and go somewhere where I know I can do that and have an enjoyable night. So yeah, those are my thoughts. If you have anything that you might think about when it comes to the difference between the two tents, drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. I'm always interested in hearing what you guys have to say, and maybe you'll share something with a little bit different perspective than I have, and maybe it might sway me towards a freestanding tent, maybe. But anyways, that's basically what I wanted to talk about. Just get in there and just share my thoughts on that type of tenting, if you will. But now it's time for more bubbly because my mouth is getting dry. All right, so there you go, folks. Now I'm gonna kick back and relax a little bit longer here and just enjoy the beauty around me, and I'll bring you guys back in just a moment. All right, folks, so as you can see, I am back on the trail, all packed up. Reason being is because the weather is changing. We've got some gray skies coming in, rolling in, and I really can't be caught in a rainstorm today, like I said, because I am going to work, and I don't want to have to deal with wet clothes and all that fun stuff. And I am on that time constraint, so I can't spend all the time setting up a tarp and providing cover and shelter. Man, these woods are awesome. Look at this, folks. Right over there is the utility line. Utility road. Anyways, yeah, just want to get out here for a little bit and talk about that topic about the tents with you folks, and enjoy nature together. Hope you've enjoyed this one. As always, get out there, get dirty with nature, enjoy every moment of life. Listen to the birds, squirrels, all the little critters. All right, folks, I'll catch up with you soon. Take care, God bless. Enjoy every moment of life. Until the next one.